Yo, what's up guys? Nick Ismeta here, and in this video, I'm gonna be talking about why I still live with my parents at 30 years old. And I wanna talk about this because I feel like there's a lot of pressure for young people right now. They have the feeling that they want to move out of their parents' house to feel like they are progressing in life. And I'm telling you right now, that is a big mistake. That mindset is what is going to set you back. Because living with my parents until 30 was one of the best financial decisions I've ever made in my life, and has allowed me the opportunity to be able to semi-retire at 30 years old right now. And I could probably retire fully if I really wanted to by lowering my expenses, but I don't really plan on doing that. And I don't really plan on retiring right now because I just love working and doing things. But I do have that option at 30 years old. And living with my parents for all these years has allowed me that option. So I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of kids that feel like they have to move out of their parents, live their own lives, have rent. But you gotta change that mindset. That mindset is just, it's emotional, it's not logical. If you want to be financially independent, what you should be doing in your early 20s is saving as much money as you can and putting it and investing it. And living with your parents not only allows you to save and invest that money, but allows you the time and the freedom and the mind space that you have, instead of worrying about like how you're going to pay rent. Instead of working to pay rent, you have so much time to actually find out what you want to do for the rest of your life. Whereas if you start out at 18 with an apartment, now all your mind space is focused on how am I going to make this rent payment? How am I going to pay for groceries? How am I going to continue paying my car payment? Living with your parents is going to take so much stress and allow you so much more mind space to do that soul searching, to actually build the skills you need that will last for a lifetime. And that's what living with my parents has allowed me to do. I didn't have to work to make rent. I mean, I didn't have completely free rent at my parents', but it was definitely more affordable than renting an apartment. And I'm definitely not saying if you decide to live with your parents that you should just sit around, play video games, and do nothing. If you decide to do that, you are wasting your opportunity here. If you're living with your parents, you need to be doing everything that you can to set yourself up for your future, which is finding out what you love to do, building those skills, and finding a way to monetize that. And if you're living in an apartment, it's gonna be so much harder to do. So let's just think about the numbers part of it. So if you decide to get an apartment, it's gonna be right now probably like $1,200 a month, maybe let's just say $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month in a year, that's $12,000. That's just a year. Now, if you do that for 5 years, which is very possible if you're just living in an apartment, moving from apartment to apartment, let's say you do that for 5 years, that is $60,000 that you are throwing in the trash. You know, and some people might not have the option to live with their parents. You're very blessed if you are able to live with your parents, and you're very blessed if you're able to continue living with them for free. You might have the help around the house here and there, and you should do that, especially if they're letting you live there for free. But even if you have to pay them like $600 a month, that still allows you to save another $600 a month indefinitely. That is a lot of money that you could be saving, putting back, and investing. And that's what I did in my early 20s. In my early 20s, I was making a lot of money because I built my skills doing YouTube. I was able to build my channel. It went crazy. I was making a lot of money. So much money, I didn't know what to do with it. What did I do with that money? I invested probably 80% of it. So I just put a huge lump sum of that into an investment account. And that's the thing with investment, is that the best thing that you could do for your investments is to invest early. So the earlier that you invest your money, the more time it has to grow. And I think that's one of the biggest pitfalls people have when they're 18, just got out of high school, and they just want to eagerly get out of the house and move into an apartment. Don't do it if you can. If you have the option to live with your parents, do that, because that will set you so much further ahead than everybody else your age. And I could see that everybody around me when I was 18, they were so eagerly trying to move out of their parents and get like 2-3 jobs to be able to afford their apartment, which it was like, why do that when you can live with your parents? You could still work those 1 or 2 jobs, and then guess what? You're saving so much money compared to everybody else. So let's just look at the numbers. I love to go onto an investment calculator and see how much money can grow. And if you're 18, whatever, if you're a young age, look into compound investing. You might not understand it now. Compound investing, I believe Einstein said it, is one of the wonders of the world. And that's something I didn't really understand at my age when I was making a bunch of money. I knew people who knew what they were talking about, and they were saying to do that. So just like, okay, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna trust the process. success, and I guess we'll see where we're at 10 years from now. And guess what? I'm able to semi-retire right now. Let's say you're 18 years old, enter the age you plan to retire. Let's just say 67, about how much money you have in your investments. Let's just say 0 because you don't have anything yet. You're 18 years old, just out of high school, and how much will you contribute monthly? Now let's just say your parents are making you pay rent, let's say half of what the average rent prices are right now, so about $600. You're able to contribute, since you don't have an apartment, you're able to invest and save a lot of money. So let's say $600 is how much you're going to contribute monthly. And let's say you don't even have that. Let's say you have half of that to be able to invest. So maybe you have $600 extra dollars, put $300 into a savings account, $300 into investments. So let's change that to $300. The historical 30-year return of the S&P 500 has been roughly 10 to 12%. Let's go with 10. Calculate that. Guess what? When you're 67, you have $4.7 million. $4.7 million. Now you might be thinking, 67, I'm 18 years old, that's so far ahead. I want to feel like I have money now. Okay, well, let's see. Let's go half of that. Let's go 30 years. How much money will be in your portfolio if you're investing $300 a month until you are 30 years old, starting at 18? Calculate that, $82,000. And this is for you like doing nothing but putting money into an account. So already, if you decide to live with your parents for free, or pay a low monthly rent, that is already going to set you so, just by doing that, you're already ahead of so many more people your age. And guess what? Your peers that decided to go move into an apartment, they're probably most likely working a job that they fucking hate. Like, that sucks. That's why I am so obsessed with financial independence, because I don't want to wake up every day to go do a job that I hate 8 hours a day and then have to do it the next day, and then I have to do it I have to do it 5 days a week. Like, that shit sucks. So if living with my parents allows me to live a financially independent later years of my life, I mean, that just makes sense. And I know a lot of people, maybe you don't have a good relationship with your parents. It's a very blessed thing to be able to live with your parents, and an even more blessed thing to be able to live with them for free. Maybe you have the help around the house and stuff, but I mean, you should do that. But also, your parents are not going to be around forever. I'm just now about to be moving out of my dad's. I'm getting a house constructed with my girlfriend right now. It'll be done in about 2 years, and I'm actually sad that I'm going to be not living with my dad anymore. Like, it's kind of making me emotional right now, knowing that I may never live with my parents ever again. And I think that's another thing young people don't think about, because, you know, you're so young, you feel like you have so much more time ahead of you. You're not really in the place to be able to feel that, and you don't feel that until you're older. Like, I remember me and my girlfriend were talking about, I mean, we're super proud of ourselves and super excited about getting our own house, but we're also scared and a little bit anxious about it, because we've been living with our parents for so long and we've been building our relationship with them. It just makes us sad that we're not going to be able, that we're not doing that anymore. You know, and I'm not too far from my parents. One is like 10 minutes away. The other one's like 40 minutes away. So I could always go see them, but it's not going to be the same as if I'm living with them. My dad here is like my best friend, and we live so well together. And I'm not saying I was fully committed to living with my parents, because I did fall into that mindset at one point. I think it was around, maybe I was 25, 26 when I decided to move out and go into an apartment because I thought I was ready. I lived in an apartment for 2 years, 2 different apartments for 2 years, and it was really lonely. I can't say I liked it. I felt lonely a lot of the time. I would call my parents more because I just missed talking to them. I mean, I had friends come over here and there. I partied, but then I just realized that, why am I doing this? I'm not really, eventually I was just not even having fun doing that. I didn't want to do that anymore. And I thought, why am I doing this? I don't have to do this. I could move back to my dad's, live with him, save so much more money, and not be lonely. And I could live with someone I enjoy living with. So my second year living in my second apartment, I actually terminated my lease early so I could move out early. I mean, it just made sense. I had to pay like another month's worth of rent, but it was worth it compared to continue living there until the end of the lease. And at that point, I was just done. I was like, why am I doing this? I'm not even enjoying this. So I took all my stuff and moved back to my dad's, where I was before I moved to my own apartments. And I could tell you I enjoyed that a lot more than living by myself in an apartment. So basically I'm saying, just don't give in to that pressure. And I feel like that pressure comes externally. because you're seeing everybody else move out of their parents' house. It seems like they are enjoying their lives. It seems like they're happy. It seems like they're progressing in life. But are they? Are they actually? Approximately 28% of Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings. Less than 45% of Americans can cover a $1,000 emergency expense without resorting to credit cards or loans. About 60% of Americans lack a retirement-specific savings account, indicating a significant gap in retirement preparedness. A lot of these people that moved out early from their parents' house, a lot of them aren't building a retirement account. What are they going to do when they're older? And this is one of the biggest things that I thought when I was younger. I don't want to keep working for the rest of my life. I want the option to be able to stop working if I want to. I don't want to feel like I have to work to make this money to make rent. I want to live life freely. I want to live life on my terms. And that's why I'm so obsessed with investing and saving money and not letting those ideas and feelings of, oh, I got to move out to feel like I'm progressing. No, that's not a logical, calculated decision. That is a emotional decision that is fueled by looking around and seeing people move out of their parents and, oh, they must be progressing in life because they're moving out of their parents. No, they are not. They are making a bad financial decision. And I mean, that doesn't apply to everybody. Maybe there's a small portion of those people that moved out early that did very well. But chances are, but just forget that. If you live with your parents, you're able to save more money, which means you're able to invest more. It also gives you the time to pursue what you actually enjoy in life, what you actually have passion for, building your skills, growing your business, or maybe not even growing a business. You could just work a regular job, live at your parents, and save so much more money and be so much further ahead than these people that are living without thinking about all that. So just don't let that idea of, oh, if I'm living at my parents at 30, people are gonna think I'm a loser. Who cares? Who cares? Who are these people? Who are these people to tell you how to live your life and how you should feel if you're not doing what they are doing? Like, fuck off. Go do your own thing. I'll do my thing, and I'll be able to live free and live life on my terms. And yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. If you have any thoughts, questions, let us know in the comments. And if you have another question for me, maybe I can answer that in another video. Leave it in the comments. And if you made it this far in the video, comment freedom. Let me know that you are a real person watching this. I would love to see that. Well, that's it. I'll see you in the next video.